As women move through the decades of life and cross into their 60s, subtle shift often begins to settle in. Not just in the body, but in the heart, the mind, and the rhythm of everyday life. And what once felt alive, vibrant, and full of spark can begin to feel muted, slower, and even invisible, as though the world no longer sees you the way it once did. And sometimes even you no longer see yourself that way either. And it's not necessarily due to one single event or sudden moment, but rather a slow and quiet fading of that fire that once made you feel sensual, connected, curious, and present. And while some women chalk it up to aging and try to accept it, others carry an aching sense that something vital has been lost. An inner spark that used to light up their smile, energize their step, and make them feel fully alive, not just for others, but for themselves. And it's in this space of quiet yearning that we must ask, what if this inner spark isn't gone, but simply buried, waiting to be nourished back into brightness with the right kind of fuel? And what if the path back to that spark is more accessible than we've been led to believe, not hidden in expensive treatments or external validation, but found in something as simple and foundational as what we put into our bodies each day? Because the truth is, food is not just fuel. It's information, it's communication. And for women over 60, it becomes a language we can use to speak directly to our cells, our hormones, and even our emotions. And one of the most powerful tools we have to rekindle vitality is the mindful and intentional use of specific nutrient-rich foods that support female hormonal balance, mood regulation, and energy production. And among all the options available, there is one particular food, simple, ancient, and nourishing, that has been quietly transforming the lives of women in their 60s, 70s, and beyond, not because it promises to reverse aging or turn back time, but because it helps women reconnect to their body's natural rhythm, awaken their senses, and stabilize the very systems that govern desire, confidence, and emotional resilience. And that food is none other than ground flaxseed, a humble yet powerful ally for any woman seeking to rediscover her sense of vitality and feminine radiance after menopause. Because flaxseed, when consumed daily and in the right way, has the unique ability to support estrogen balance, reduce dryness, ease anxiety, and even boost libido by acting as a plant-based source of phytoestrogens, compounds that mimic natural estrogen in the body in a very gentle and supportive way, without overwhelming the system or causing harmful effects. And these lignans found in flax seeds are especially important for postmenopausal women because they help smooth the hormonal transitions that often result in mood swings, sleep disturbances, and low energy. And by consuming just 1 to 2 tablespoons of freshly ground flaxseed per day, mixed into oatmeal, yogurt, or smoothies, many women report feeling more emotionally steady, more focused, and even more sensually alive, as if their body begins remembering how to feel again, how to soften and open instead of tighten and close. And part of the reason this is so effective is that flaxseed also supports digestive health, which in turn impacts how efficiently the body absorbs nutrients, eliminates toxins, and maintains hormone balance, creating a cascade of positive changes that ripple through the nervous system, the endocrine system, and ultimately the emotional body. And over time, as these systems find harmony, women begin to notice subtle yet meaningful shifts. They wake up with more clarity. They feel more present in their relationships. Their skin feels softer, their eyes brighter, and most importantly, they start to reconnect with the part of themselves that feels worthy of pleasure, of joy, of expression. And this is what we mean by inner spark. It's not just about energy or libido. It's about the fire in the soul that says, I'm still here, I'm still beautiful, and I still deserve to feel fully alive. And when you nourish that spark with a food as healing and intuitive as flaxseed, You begin to build a new kind of vitality, one that is rooted in self-respect, daily intention, and a gentle partnership with your body rather than a battle against aging. And it's not just about the nutrients in flaxseed either, it's about the act of choosing each morning to give yourself something sacred, to begin the day not with depletion or resignation, but with nourishment and reverence. And this daily ritual becomes a foundation on which other changes can naturally build, like moving your body in ways that feel good, setting boundaries that honor your energy, and opening space for touch, creativity, laughter, and connection. And many women are amazed that something so simple can open the door to such profound emotional shifts. But the body knows when it is loved and supported, it begins to glow again. And that glow is your spark returning, not as a memory of who you used to be, but as a celebration of the woman you are becoming now, with all your wisdom, softness, strength, and depth. Continuing on this journey of rediscovery and nourishment, it becomes increasingly clear that adding flaxseed into your daily rhythm is far more than just a dietary suggestion. It is an invitation to begin each morning with an act of self-love, to turn a simple meal into a quiet ritual of empowerment, and to start rebuilding the bridge between your physical health and your inner sense of vitality. Because once you begin to support your body's hormonal needs through this gentle yet powerful superfood, other dormant aspects of your life begin to shift almost naturally, as if they were simply waiting for you to say yes to yourself again. And the beauty of this transformation lies not only in what you eat, but in how you begin to carry yourself, because as your hormones stabilize, your digestion improves, and your energy returns, you might notice that your posture straightens, your voice strengthens, and your curiosity for life becomes louder. And the truth is, the more you nurture your body with intention, the more your body begins to communicate with you in return, offering you signals of healing, flashes of memory, and renewed sensations that once felt far away. And this reconnection is deeply emotional as much as it is physical, because the spark you are rekindling is not just about libido or attraction. It is about returning to your true nature, the joyful, sensual, radiant woman that still lives within you, no matter what number is on your birth certificate. And many women who begin this practice with flaxseed, sometimes skeptical at first, report back after just a few weeks with noticeable changes, not dramatic or sudden, but steady and affirming, like clearer skin, smoother digestion, fewer hot flashes, deeper sleep, and perhaps most importantly, a gentle awakening of desire, not necessarily the kind that rushes into the bedroom right away, but the kind that makes you want to dance a little in the kitchen, or a splash of color again, or catchier. Reflection and smile, because you feel something glowing behind your eyes. And when that happens, everything else starts to feel more possible, because the mind and body are no longer working in opposition and instead are flowing together like old friends who've come back into harmony. And what's especially encouraging is that flaxseed doesn't just work in isolation. It becomes the foundation for a new lifestyle that makes room for other deeply supportive foods and habits, such as adding magnesium-rich leafy greens to your meals, sipping calming teas like chamomile or ashwagandha in the evening, and being more intentional about rest, joy, and creative play. Because once you give yourself permission to feel alive again, you naturally begin seeking out what helps you stay that way, and every small choice becomes a stepping stone back to yourself. And in this way, flaxseed becomes more than a food. It becomes a key that unlocks your body's own healing intelligence, a symbol of the decision to no longer put your needs last, to no longer believe that aging means fading, and instead to realize that aging means ripening, deepening, becoming more fully yourself in ways you were too busy or too constrained to explore when you were younger. And many women in their 60s and beyond are now discovering that this stage of life is not the end of sensuality or aliveness, but the very beginning of something softer, slower, but far more powerful, a kind of intimacy with self and others that is built on emotional depth, trust, and embodiment. And it starts with caring for your body like a sacred garden, knowing that what you plant and water each day with love and nourishment will grow into confidence, pleasure, connection, and even passion that no longer needs to prove itself because it simply is. And while flaxseed is at the heart of this journey for many, it is also a gateway to a broader transformation. Because once you begin honoring your body and feeding it in a way that respects its changes, you begin to let go of shame, guilt, or outdated beliefs about what's appropriate for a woman your age. And instead, you begin to ask new questions like, what makes me feel vibrant? What touches still stir something in me? What dreams have I yet to explore? And those questions become the beginning of a dialogue with yourself that's rich, fertile, and completely yours. And this is where the true spark lies, not in what others think of you, but in what you're finally allowing yourself to feel again, to claim, and to express. And that feeling of reclamation is what lights up your life, your relationships, and your sense of presence in the world around you. And in the next section, we'll explore how to take this inner spark even further, how to pair flaxseed with other soul-nourishing habits that enhance circulation, awaken the senses, reduce anxiety, and make your body feel like a safe and sensual home again. Because your journey isn't just about reclaiming health. It's about rekindling joy, and joy is your birthright at every age. As you continue nourishing your body with flaxseed and embracing the slow but steady reawakening of your inner spark, you might begin to notice that the process of rekindling isn't just about what you eat. It's about everything you choose to feel, believe, and honor on a daily basis, because this journey isn't just biological, it's deeply emotional and even spiritual. A kind of gentle revolution that invites you to show up for yourself in ways you may never have dared to before. And as you settle into this new rhythm of self-care, you begin to feel more attuned to what your body is asking for. Not in a dramatic or loud way, but in small whispers like the craving for a warm bath at the end of a long day, the desire to stretch slowly in the morning sun, the pull toward music that once made your heart flutter, and suddenly life becomes less about surviving and more about savoring and flaxseed. In this quiet transformation plays a central yet subtle role, because it's not just stabilizing your hormones or reducing dryness or making your skin feel more supple. It's signaling to your entire being that you are worth nourishing, worth tending to, and worth waking up for. And that message, when repeated day after day, begins to penetrate deeper layers of self, shifting the stories you've told yourself about aging, desirability, and energy. And instead of feeling like you're disappearing, you begin to feel like you're unfolding, layer by beautiful layer, into the woman you were always meant to be, not defined by external expectations, but lit from within by your own truth. And this shift in energy has a ripple effect on everything and everyone around you. Because when a woman returns to herself, when she reclaims her sensuality, her softness, her power, she becomes a magnetic force of peace and passion, of wisdom and warmth. And people feel it, not just partners or friends, but strangers too, because that glow isn't superficial, it's soulful. And as that inner light grows, you may find yourself drawn to other practices that enhance your well-being, not out of discipline or duty, but out of devotion, like adding omega-3 rich walnuts or chia seeds to your meals, sipping golden turmeric milk before bed to soothe inflammation and ease you into deeper sleep. Or beginning your day with gentle pelvic floor exercises that increase circulation and sensitivity in areas that may have felt numb or distant for years. And these rituals, while simple, create a tapestry of care that wraps around your nervous system like a warm blanket, calming your mind, opening your heart, and reminding your body that it is safe, loved, and alive. And when your body feels that, truly feels that, it begins to respond in kind, with more ease, more trust, and more pleasure, not just sexually, but in every sense, because pleasure is not just about intimacy with another. It's about intimacy with the moment, with the way your hands move through warm water, the sound of laughter shared with a friend, the texture of soft sheets against your skin. And this kind of embodied pleasure is one of the greatest gifts of growing older, because you finally have the presence and patience to notice it, to receive it, and to savor it without guilt, without rushing, without apology. And that is where your spark lives, in those moments of deep noticing, deep feeling, and deep honoring of the woman you are now. Not the woman you used to be, and certainly not the one society tells you to be, but the woman who wakes up each day and says yes to herself in big ways and small. And for some, this awakening leads to new adventures, rediscovering sensual touch with a longtime partner, embracing dating again with fresh eyes and no shame, or simply falling in love with their own body for the first time ever. And this is why flaxseed, though simple, becomes sacred, because it's not just about health metrics or hormone levels. It's about the way it opens the door to a deeper relationship with your body, one that is based not on control or criticism, but on curiosity, compassion, and care. And the more you give yourself permission to feel, the more you realize that vitality was never lost. It was just waiting quietly for you to slow down and listen, to choose foods and practices that mirror the love you wish to feel, and to begin treating your body not as a problem to be fixed, but as a garden to be nurtured, where everything that blooms starts from a single seed planted with intention. In the final part of this video, we'll look at how to keep that garden blooming, how to maintain this inner spark long-term with daily rituals, emotional nourishment, and simple, joyful choices that keep you feeling grounded, radiant, and fully alive every single day. Because when you choose yourself fully and unapologetically, you don't just feel better, you become a beacon of what's possible for every woman who dares to bloom at any age. And so this journey, which began with a single spoonful of flaxseed, now unfolds into something much greater than a dietary change. It becomes a homecoming, a gentle but profound return to the parts of yourself that may have been forgotten, quieted, or put aside in the name of family, responsibility, or simply the unrelenting flow of time. And in this return, something magical begins to happen, not in flashes or grand gestures, but in quiet awakenings, in how you begin to inhabit your body again, how your hands rest gently on your own belly, or how you smile softly at your reflection, noticing not just lines and years, but depth and resilience. And the spark we've been speaking of, that subtle, glowing ember of aliveness, isn't some fleeting flame or lost relic of youth, but a truth that never left you, only waiting beneath the noise, beneath the roles you've played and the expectations you've carried, to be seen again, to be nourished and allowed to rise. And now, as you look at your days through new eyes, with the awareness that what you consume becomes the conversation you're having with your cells, your spirit, and your soul, you begin to choose not just flaxseed, but intention, integrity, and grace in every meal, in every breath, in every boundary you set, in every moment you reclaim. Because at this stage in life, you have earned the right to feel deeply, to desire freely, to honor your rhythms without apology, and to let go of any lingering belief that you're time for. Passion, joy, or discovery has passed, because it hasn't, Not even close. In fact, many women report that it is only now in their 60s, 70s, and beyond that they finally begin to feel what true embodiment means, what it feels like to live in a body not shaped by insecurity or comparison, but by acceptance, gratitude, and devotion. And in this space, food becomes medicine, but also poetry, an expression of care and artistry that aligns your biology with your emotions. And flaxseed, rich in lignans and omega-3s, continues to do its quiet work each day, not just supporting estrogen balance and inflammation, but contributing to a steady sense of wholeness, clarity, and ease that becomes the foundation for everything else. Better sleep, deeper connection, more curiosity and intimacy, and even the confidence to move through the world with shoulders back and heart open. Because when you feel well inside, the world begins to feel more beautiful again, and it's no longer about trying to be the woman you once were, but finally becoming the woman you've always been beneath the layers of shoulds and silences. And that woman is sensual, wise, funny, tender, strong, and radiant. Not in the way the media defines beauty, but in the way that moves people, comforts children, inspires friends, and teaches others how to age with power. And this is the legacy you now get to shape. Not through sacrifice, but through alignment. Through the daily, sacred choice to show up for yourself, to light the candle, to stir the flax into your smoothie or sprinkle on your oats. Not as a chore, but as a celebration, a signal to yourself that you're still listening, still growing, still deserving of vitality and desire and wonder. And as this becomes your rhythm, you begin to realize that rekindling the spark is not a one-time fix or a temporary high. It's a lifestyle of tuning in, tending to, and trusting the wisdom of your own body, of knowing when to rest, when to move, when to cry, when to laugh until you fall over, and when to dance barefoot in the living room because your favorite song just came on. And if you ever doubt that food can have that kind of ripple effect, just remember this. Everything is connected. What you feed your body shapes your hormones, your mood, your memory, your breath, your energy, your touch, your openness to joy. And when you choose a food like flaxseed, so humble, so earthy, and yet so powerful, you are planting something more than nutrients into your day. You are planting a belief, a decision, a hope that says you're not invisible, not done, not past your prime, but simply ripening, and the world and your life need your flavor, your voice, your fire now more than ever. So as you take this forward, let every spoonful remind you that you are worth it. Not because you're trying to reclaim who you were, but because you're embracing who you are now with every ounce of tenderness and pride. And in doing so, you give other women permission to do the same, to stop dimming their light, to stop waiting for the right time, and to instead live lit up from within, bold and blooming, grounded and glowing at any and every age, because the spark never left. It only waited for you to remember.